I'm Mrs. Hanna. I teach 4th grade at Rhoades Elementary, and today's lesson is about how people change the environment with the wonderful Rick Crosslin.
Oh, thanks for that great introduction. So today's lesson here in the 4th grade is about how people change the environment. And you know, this last weekend I went to a really big city, Chicago. And I walked around Chicago and I saw the Sears Tower and I saw boats and trains, because Chicago is right on the bank of Lake Michigan. And there were millions of people, airplanes coming in and subways, and it was amazing. In fact, I walked between buildings that I couldn't even see the sky. And I got to thinking, this sure is different than it was 200 years ago. 200 years ago, and I got to thinking, I saw a seagull fly in and land on a building. And I thought, 200 years ago, there was probably grass growing. There were probably lots of birds, there were fish, and a person could see for miles across the land. So I thought, wow, this place has really changed. And I was thinking, was that a good thing or a bad thing? And I really couldn't think of it like that. So I started thinking, what were some of the good things about that? We call that beneficial. And what were some of the bad things about that? Detrimental. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so let's take a look at your worksheet, because we're going to do some reading, we're going to see some videos, and then we're going to do an activity. So how have people changed? Let's make a chart, and you have it on yours. And on one side, let's put the word detrimental. Can someone spell that for me? Detrimental. Does that sound like something that's good or bad? Bad. So I'm going to put a negative sign there. So when we talk about these issues about how people have changed the environment, if it's something that's probably not so good, negative, or bad, we're going to call that detrimental. What are we going to call it if it's good?
Beneficial.
Beneficial means it has benefits. Spell that one for me. Beneficial. And that's going to be plus, okay? So we have some things that might be bad, some things that might be good. Let's talk about that big city. Let's talk about a big city, okay? And so what are some things that might be bad about having a big city? Yes?
There can be a lot of people can put their, bad things on the street. They can just throw their trash on the street.
Many people equals a lot of trash, right? Yeah. And what's something good about a city, a big city? Yes?
There's more stuff that you can...
Oh, yeah, there is. In a big city, there is more stuff you can do. So let's take a look at our workbook. So go ahead on your worksheet where one side's detrimental and one side's beneficial, and talk about how a city might be something detrimental or something beneficial. Let's take a look at the top of our workbook page and check out this picture here. What does that show you?
It's trash. It's just trash everywhere.
It looks like it's either a trash dump or a landfill. Let's see how we're going to do that on our chart. All right, so let's put, if it's bad, let's call it a garbage dump, because that's kind of a bad way to say that, I think. And if it's good, let's call it a landfill. So what are some things that is bad about all that trash that you see? Yes, sir.
It could attract bugs and stuff.
Oh, it brings in lots of pests, like animals that probably should not be there They should probably be in the environment, like maybe what? Rats, did you say?
Yeah.
Rats, insects, flies, birds.
There's like nets.
Do you think that is a natural way for the animals to get food?
No.
No. What about the smell?
It reeks.
It probably has bad odor, right? And what does it look like to you? Does it look nice?
No.
No, it's not very, it even looks bad. Okay. Now, we're going to learn in this lesson that there are things we could do. What is good about trash? What is good about a landfill? And, oh, you got a lot of hands up. Yes.
Like in the landfill, they put the trash down, then they cover it up, so.
Okay, so in a landfill, they can cover the trash. What will that help save? What will that help save if you cover the trash?
It'll like decompose faster.
Oh, it will decompose. And I'll tell you, we're going to see something, decompose, which means that it will break down. And at some landfills, they use that decomposing, the gas that comes out of it, they get gas out of it to make electricity. Anybody else have, what else could you do with the landfill? Yes?
Recycle.
You can recycle the trash, and so that's a big one. Recycle, you can reuse, and maybe you could just reduce the trash. So let's take a look at other ways we can go. Okay, so this is a short video that shows when I follow trash from my house to a landfill. And I also sorted the trash and recycled it. So let's take a look at that right now.
Well, I'll tell you, this truck looks like it's full. What do you do next? Well, come on, we'll tell you what operation. All right. Jeremy's trucks and many others just like it end up here, where they drop off the materials they collect from you at curbside. Well, we're getting closer to learn where trash goes, and the first step here at Rhoades is to separate it into different materials. Yeah, we're not done separating even here at the recycling center. Rhoades Marketing Director, Ritter Matthews Cook, will help me sort it all out.
There's a lot of big equipment involved in recycling. There's a lot of costs that are involved in recycling, and a lot of people have a common misconception that your recycling at your curb is worth a lot of money. And it is as an end result. However, there's a lot of steps that it takes to get there, and we're going to see that today.
Okay, let's go, Ritter. So this is your first big stop right here.
Yes, this is where the material is going to really start its journey in becoming another material. It's got to get separated from all of the different materials that are involved.
Now, it's onto the conveyor belt. And upstairs, where workers sort different kinds of plastics and glass. Milk jugs go one way, clear plastics another. They end up in big bins like this. We're up on the conveyor, and this is down below. So what's going on here? These are what?
This is what we were throwing off of the line right there. And this is how, again, one of the most important things about recycling is sorting. It's just getting it down to the sorted product. We will then be able to process this and sell this back either to make another milk jug or another type of plastic, because now it's segregated and it's by itself. So that's what
type of plastic?
Yes.
What's in the next bin?
Well, the next one we've got, the colored plastics. This is just going to be plastics that have a little bit more dye in them. They're going to a different place. They're going to be made into different types of materials.
And what's in our next bin?
The next one we have some clear plastic, and it'll go back into water bottles and it'll go back into making different types of plastic so you get your food and your beverages in.
And so these are all different types of cans, steel cans. I don't see any aluminum. Ritter explained that's because a big magnet grabs all the steel and drops it in this bin. And the aluminum keeps going on the conveyor until this air cannon-like device shoots the aluminum into a semi-trailer here. Okay, finally, the sorting is done. Now we get to crush them into giant bales.
This is going to be a bale. These bales end up to be anywhere from 800 to 1,000 pounds. And it's tied off with wire. And then once that comes off of here, we're able to store the material until the buyer comes to pick up the material.
Wow. So you see how the recycling ends up at a center like that? They separate the different plastics and the cardboard, and you end up with something like this that then is sold back to the people who make newspaper, the people who make plastic bottles, and it gets melted down or broken up and used again. Would you call that a benefit or detrimental?
Benefit.
Benefit.
Can you make stuff out of trash?
Can you make stuff out of trash? Yes. Let me show you some people that decided to have a fashion show made out of trash. What do you think about that?
Cool.
Let's see.
Where this stuff goes, they throw it away. Smart people recycle. But I'm here tonight at a pretty cool event, the Trash and Refashion Show, where young people have found other uses for the things we get rid of. For example, newspaper turned into a cool evening dress. Check it out. No, we did not take Indiana expeditions to the runways of Paris and New York. We're in Bloomington, Indiana, where for one night it's the trash and refashion capital of the world. Think of it as wearable, recycled art. I caught up with one of the designers, Kathleen Clark, an anthropology major at Indiana University, who actually studies people who make fashion from trash. I love your outfit. Tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you so much. This is the bow made out of an old calendar, and my outfit later tonight is made out of chicken wire, cans, and newspaper.
Chicken wire.
Chicken wire.
That someone would throw away.
That someone would throw away. It's all rusted, and I found it in a dumpster.
And you've taken what someone throws away and found a really good use for it.
Right. I recycled it and made it back into fashion, and now I can show people my artistic designs instead of having it in the landfill.
And what made you do something with trash for fashion?
Well, I like to recycle, and I thought it'd be really interesting to try something like this, and it seemed really fun,
So you're not only going to be showing us what you made, but you designed it also.
Yes.
Where did you get your idea for this?
I liked the idea of using a trash bag as a skirt, and so I also wanted to have flyers on it, but the flyers started to look a little strange, so then I put tissue paper on it, and it looked prettier.
Some of this art is just out of this world.
Wow. So you guys, that was kind of different, don't you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
Would you guys like to make some fashion out of trash?
Yes.
That'd be a great activity. Maybe we'll do that later. So we'll come back to the trash in just a moment. Let's look at some other things. For example, look at your book. There's a picture of a bear walking across the road. You see that?
Yes.
So what could be good or bad about a road? So let's go ahead and write road and road. And let's take a look at our book. Okay, as you can see right here, this bear is walking across the road. What would be bad about having a road in the middle of the wilderness?
It would be bad because the bear might get hit and it's probably used to going through here, but they cut down the trees to make that road for the humans' benefits.
Yeah, so it would be bad for the wildlife. In fact, when I came to work today, and maybe you've seen this, on the sides of the road sometimes, I see animals that have been hit by cars. Not too good for the animals. And you said, well, okay, what might be some benefits of having a road? Some benefits of having a road. Anybody?
So people can get places.
What's that?
So people can get places.
Yeah, because without roads,
We wouldn't get any.
we wouldn't get places. So let's go ahead and add that to our worksheet. So Randa, we use roads all the time. As a matter of fact, this really pretty shirt you have on right here probably got here on a road. Did you make that shirt at home?
No.
You didn't. So did you go to the store to get it?
Yes.
And did you walk through the woods and over the mountains? How did you get to the store?
I drive.
You drive? Oh, you're a young driver. And when you drove with your family, what did you drive on? Through the woods for cross country?
No road.
You drove on a road. And may I look at your tag on your shirt?
Yeah.
This tag says made in China. So that shirt was made in China, put on a truck, drove to an airport, drove to a port, put on a boat, put on an airplane, probably came all the way to Los Angeles, put on a train or a truck, and driven to a store.
Here.
Amazing. Without that road, you'd have to be at home making your own shirt. Well, maybe if you guys use some of the trash you throw away, you can make your own shirts out of trash. I'm not sure. Raise your hand if you want to make your own clothes. Really?
So it's easy for me.
It's easy. I don't know. I'm glad we have roads. I hate that animals get hurt, but I'm glad we have roads. There ought to be a way to design places for animals not to be hurt by roads. Maybe you can do that. So you can go on with this lesson. We can talk about air pollution. We can talk about water pollution and things that are good for air and things that are bad for air, and even land pollution. But let's take a closer look at the stuff we throw away and recycling trash. As a special treat to you guys, I brought some trash.
Yay!
But so this was, I was collecting some trash over my office, and I was just thinking, what do we do with this trash? And so what I'd like to do is see if we can sort it. So what are some things that we can sort?
Plastics.
Plastic, okay, so plastic, and what's something else we can sort?
Paper.
Yeah, paper, okay. So paper. Anything else?
Metal.
Metal. What types of metal? Like
Iron. Like cans.
oh yeah, so some metal like iron, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and some metal like
Wood.
let's get back to the metal. Aluminum. Aluminum. And
Wood.
yeah, you know what? Wood, we can do something special with wood. We can compost it. Compost means that we can add it into our garden along with some other types of refuse or trash. Yes. Cardboard will go with paper, okay?
Oh wait.
Food
you can't use?
food can go with compost, okay? So any food, and then we left off something that we could also do is, what else? One thing that bottles are made out of, plastic, but we also have glass. You guys don't see many glass bottles these days.
I do.
Oh, styrofoam, that's a different type of plastic. And in fact, on the bottom of things, and let's look at the first thing. Let's see if there's a foam in here.
Yep, there is.
Here's a foam cup. And I had a cup of coffee with this, but on the bottom of this foam cup, if you look, there's a little triangle right there, and it says 6. See, they tell different types of plastics, and so let's put that there and put this by that, okay? Go ahead and put that over there by that. And let's put our paper, you're in charge of our paper over there. So what should I do with this cardboard?
It goes with paper.
Let's turn it around paper so I can see it. There we go. And I looked at this, and this says that it's brown, and it's already been recycled. With this paper, 37% of it has already been recycled. That means this much of it came from other paper, and this was new paper. Huh.
How is cardboard paper?
How is cardboard paper? Well, cardboard is dug out. You can tear this up and paper, add water to it, and turn it back into fiber and make new paper. That's what's okay. Oh, here we go.
Banana.
A banana.
Compost.
That could be compost. So let's put that over there and keep it so I can see the sign.
Yeah.
Here, so the banana goes to compost. Where does this go?
Paper.
Here it is.
Compost.
Here, I'll let you put that over there. No, you don't.
I'll do it.
What's this?
Paper.
This is from like a month ago, so let's put the paper. And here's a piece of iron. Metal. Okay, let's scoot this over. Here's our metal. And it's almost like a pizza we're making here. Here's a piece of wood. Compost. And here's some leaves. I hate it when people in my neighborhood burn leaves. The leaf off of the trees, we can compost that. Yes, turn it back into. Oh, I like brown
paper.
Brown paper. It doesn't take as much energy. When you make something white, you have to bleach it and add other chemicals. So sometimes you don't need to have things white. They can be brown. Plastic. But here's what I learned. We should separate this. This is one type of plastic. This is clear plastic. Oh, it has a number on it too.
That would be paper. Where?
It says clear plastic and it's a number 1.
That would be paper. That's
Number
different
1.
than the
That's different than the 6. And so this is actually
Why is it
plastic.
number 1?
Number 1 is clear plastic. And so there's a plastic 1. And we're going to put other plastic we don't know right here. I don't know about that. Where does this go?
Paper.
Start passing to where it goes. Pass 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 to where it goes. Okay, separate the compost. Oh, wait, look on the bottom. What number's on the bottom?
There's no number. Yes, there is.
What number?
6.
6, okay. And here's another one. Read that number.
6.
Here's I don't know. So plastic we don't know, we'll put there. Move back just a little bit. Where do you think this goes?
Plastic.
Yeah, number 1, it's clear, right? Compost,
I was looking for the
pass it around. Oh, here's some steel. It's steel. Metal, iron. There's some plastic we don't know. Oh, here's aluminum. Where does aluminum go?
No, aluminum.
Aluminum. Here's iron. Cardboard. Plastic, I don't know. Aluminum. And should we throw the battery in the landfill? No. Battery should be something special. Batteries should not go back. There's chemicals in there, so I'm going to put this in a special category. Now we can take this back to the store so they can recycle the battery, okay? And I'm going to put that there. All right, so we have a few more things, and so instead of just throwing this all in the trash, here you go, put these where they go. And, oh, finally, one piece of glass. So let's set that right there. Here you go. Help me sort the rest of this. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Here's some
That's paper.
paper and compost. Okay.
Would this be plastic?
I don't know. Read on there. See if there's a number on it.
It's not. Nope.
If we don't know what it is, would it be a good idea to put some plastic in with the paper?
No.
No.
But in the
It's,
where?
does it say that?
No.
Any idea? If we don't know, we'll put it there. And so, okay, I'm sorry. So the stuff we don't know, we've really reduced. There's some compost right there. Oh, except this piece of metal we'll put there. The stuff we don't know, let's put back in here. Okay, I'm sure it'll have a use. And that we know.
That cup.
The cup?
Go right here.
Yeah, this cup is wax. No, there's no number on it. We'll have to look. We'll have to figure that one out.
I looked at it.
So,
It smells like metal.
so
Like plastic.
yeah, it's a hard plastic. So we ended up making a pretty cool pizza, a garbage pizza or a recycling pizza. We have our metals here. We have our compost here to put back in my garden.
Glass.
We have our glass. We have our aluminum. You know that I helped clean out a relative's house or basement, and I sorted this and I took it to the recycling center, and they gave me $100 for all the aluminum, and for the iron, since I had it mixed, so there was some piece of plastic in it, they only gave me $20 for it. If I would have taken the plastic off, I would have got more money. And then I took this to the recycling, and I put this in my garden. So this is a way to recycle. And not only that, they could reuse it, and I got a little money from
So
it.
you got 120?
I got $120 from just recycling, and that was a pretty good deal. So, do you guys recycle at your school?
Yes.
Oh, in fact, who helps you recycle?
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, the custodian. Let's see if he's around. Hey, Mr. Johnson, how you doing?
Doing fine.
So you're pretty busy today, right?
Yes, sir.
And what are you doing right now with this large container?
Well, I'm collecting trash and then also collecting a little bit of recyclables.
Oh, so you go around to all the classrooms. We've been studying where trash goes. And so what's this one here you're getting ready to do?
This is trash and it goes into a special dumpster.
Okay, so this is all from the breakfast this morning, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you're going to take that in one. So do you just throw all this away, or do you do any recycling here?
No, that there is, we don't have time to, it's all gooey and nasty,
Yeah.
so we throw it into the dumpster.
Into the dumpster. But then how do you recycle it? What
Well,
else do
we
you
have a special dumpster for this,
Okay.
and we take it out and
Oh.
dump it, and then we bring it back.
And so this is, each classroom has one of these?
Yes, sir.
And so do you guys throw your paper in here?
Yes.
Oh.
Recycling.
And it's recycling, and then who has to collect all this?
Mr. Trinkle's 6th grade, and they collect it and take it out on Fridays, I believe it is.
On Fridays, and then a company comes and picks this up,
Right.
and you guys know what happens next, right?
And sorts it out to glass
And to make a big
and recycle.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you doing this job to help us
That's
all.
okay. There's other recyclables where you can even make money. I used to do hauling on the side, clean people's garages out.
Yes.
One day this lady says, I have an old pool and a deck, would you come and haul it away? So I tore it down, hauled it away, and I saved the aluminum, and a few weeks later had some more, took it into a recyclable center, and they paid me 60 cents a pound. I made $500.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
made 120.
And so, in the old days, people would just have thrown it away.
Exactly, just like your aluminum cans. It takes like about 30 cans to make a pound, and if aluminum is 60 cents a pound, for 30 cans, you can get 60 cents.
60 cents. You know, I said in the old days, but you know, my grandfather who lived here in Indianapolis, he, whenever he walked by anything, if he found a piece of wire, if it was copper, he kept it in a copper pile. If it was aluminum, he put it in an aluminum pile. And he did that for many, many years. And when this thing got filled with copper, he would take it to the recycling place down on Belmont.
There you go.
And I remember going with him as a kid one time, and I saw a mountain of aluminum chairs. And I saw a mountain of batteries.
Wow.
And then I saw a big machine that was taking pipe. It was like going, shoom, shoom. It was just cutting those pipes into smaller pieces. And I guess the best part was they crushed a car and sent it all that stuff to be melted back in again. So I guess you would say that trash has a value.
So just like wood, I had a bunch of trees cut down. I bought a wood burning stove. The following year I burnt the wood, and the gas company said I saved $800 in gas by burning wood.
Wow. So you can recycle, reduce, or reuse. Well, I'll let you get back to your
Okay.
work. Thanks
Thank
so
you very
much for
much.
taking time.
Okay.
You guys, what about the job he does for us all here? Good job, right? So we've had a lot of fun, and we've learned a lot about trash and turning it into money, or turning it into fashion, or at least trying to recycle, reduce, and reuse it. And I say people do change the environment. Some ways are bad. We call those detrimental. And some ways are good. We call those beneficial. And I tell you, it's going to be up to you guys to make the decisions to help keep our planet a better place. Hey, we'll see you next time.